Technology, 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 technology,
Did anybody watch the latest South Park episode?
No, I didn't.
Where
Hang
they
on
took
with
the Mickey out of
games.
Oculus Rift.
Bang, we're ready. Let's
Oh,
go.
shit.
Oh, we've started already.
Right on
How many starts have been like, ooh, I've already started? Welcome to the Trusty Crowbar.
Stop hitting the fucking table! What are you doing, Kieran?
I don't know, I like hitting the table.
You seem to be like, yes!
It's like it's expression that
everything.
comes out. How do you play video games without breaking your TV?
But you know how all the photos of the Wii screen, like people
Yeah.
out of the Wii, the screens
That's
are
what
smashed?
You met one of the guys that worked with today. He threw his controller and he broke that. We're just aggressive.
He threw his controller and broke it.
Yeah.
What?
He was playing FIFA.
Oh god!
Should have got a Super Nintendo controller. Those things were indestructible.
No, they freaking bounce back and hit you in the face.
If you,
But it's alright, my telly's got...
and you held the
my
leg and
telly's
just
one of those
threw
tellies
it.
has that protection glass in it, so the Gorilla Glass won't even caught. So if you throw a controller, it bounces back and hits you in the face.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and the
pretty good.
TV just comes to fucking punches you in the dick.
The TV comes and punches you in the dick.
Yes.
Where are you going with that? Come here, boy. You threw a controller at me. Yuck. That's horrible. I'm
podcast-
recording slow, by the way.
The podcast has been so much better with you gone.
So that guy on iTunes was right.
Yes,
Come
exactly.
on, guys.
So,
I started
welcome to the Trusty Crowbar.
That's better.
This is episode 89?
90.
90,
Yeah.
dang.
That was last week.
90.
90.
What sort of accents can we do there?
Holy shit.
We're
90
not
episodes.
going into an accents, okay? We're not going to have 5 minutes of back and forths of nothing. So my name is Douglas Bright.
I'm Lucas Winningslow.
I'm Reese Weddingslay, as I've said earlier.
Yes, you've already mentioned. And this week we're joined yet again, by none other,
Man.
none other than Kieran Nunn.
Winnings low.
No.
Kieran Nunn Winningslow.
You're not related to us, Kieran, at all.
And they're really happy about that.
You can rub
And
my
plus
leg
you're
as much as you
touching him
want.
up. We've explained this is now a video podcast, so all like little sexual winks
Well,
and things.
we need to make it
less
explicit
funny.
now.
Yep.
It's all for the naughties.
Reese, your face then. It's going to become a meme.
Someone's touching your leg. Explicit. Naughty
Please, someone
podcast.
make that.
So, Kieran, all the times you've been on the podcast, we haven't really spoke about. You have another podcast or two.
I do,
One
I
that
do.
happens sometimes irregularly. One that you're trying to
Get off the ground, yeah.
trying to get off the ground. Do you want to give all of our listeners, all 6 of them, a bit of a rundown of what it is
If
you
we can
do?
get those 6 listeners on board with ours, yeah.
We'll see. You go.
Wait, you're only going to do it if they get on board. Hang on. We can't guarantee that.
We're going to do a call in now. We're going to find each 6 of them.
Well, that'll be 6 more listeners than
know.
you had last week.
Yeah.
So
We
that'll be
know.
good.
This is just as dragged out as the first time we tried doing this, alright?
That's fine.
So I do 2 podcasts. One is called On Earth One. Mm-hmm. It's a comic book podcast based on comic books. The other is The Banterer, which I'm trying to get off the ground at the moment.
Comic book comics? Podcast?
Now we're dragging it again.
It's because of you.
Me and Lucas were having a private conversation. Thank you very much. Go on with your talks, okay? Go on with your podcast. God, rude.
No, Reese, your podcast.
And Banteril is about what?
It's going to be about...
What is it? And the banter is out. What?
I just want to talk about fucking games. Everybody, the banner is about movies. We all might be on it. We should
will
be.
all be on it.
We will be.
Yeah.
We'll be on it. If Kieran decides to not charge us for pizza and movies, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Jerk.
Yeah, if you could just fucking set a plan and stick to it, mate.
Hey, it's done. It's already done. It's Sunday nights.
All right.
Apparently,
Everyone's
I
busy.
read somewhere it was Wednesday, but no. Podcast.
You were busy last night.
Do you have a hanky?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you are such an old man.
Tissue.
So,
But it's blue. You've washed that in your pants and you're still using it. You have a blue fucking...
Hey, alright, I am working a casual job, alright?
That doesn't mean you have to use what you bathe your tissues to reuse
We
them.
can't all work for our parents and get paid
Kieran,
really well, okay?
are you struggling?
No,
Are you
I am.
struggling? This guy. Games, Doug.
so, Kieran, we believe you've been playing the Wii U this week.
I haven't paid
And you've been playing Mariokart and
Infinity.
you've been playing 500cc. You've already finished
500cc,
that, and also the 100cc.
Yes. Yeah, I finished both those. It's been...
How long did it take to finish the single player campaign?
It's not a campaign. It's like, Mario, why we need you to get to the end of this fucking race.
That would be amazing.
We're not talking about Call of Duty. We talked about last week. You're away.
Mario
Shut
Kart
up.
with Kevin Spacey.
Oh my god!
That would be so amazing. To have like cutscenes in Mario Kart.
Probably.
Fully rendered.
Fully rendered cutscenes in Mario Kart would be sick as of like there being like some
By Blur Studios.
What, when you actually hit someone with your magic?
like you knock someone out and it's like then they're like wheeling in on the wheelchair and they're like, when Mario got me, I had to get him back.
I'm pretty sure Mario is not like a very... It's more of a family game. It's not like Mario Kart / Burnout Takedown where everyone just smashes
Bowser's there and he's like, I didn't want you to about Mario.
I was going to say there'd be the crash scene out of Talladega Nights, and it's like crashing into the wall, and then Mario, someone running around with no pants on.
Help me, baby Jesus!
Or someone with a cracked shell.
But, you know,
That'd be
maybe
real.
that's Nintendo's turning point. Maybe they'll, sell more consoles if people think that. And they get that experience.
So, did you enjoy it?
You heard it here
It was actually...
on the Trusty Crowbar.
Kieran, you can continue.
How many things have we spoke about, and then in that following week, bang, it announced? Like,
3.
Reese. That's pretty good. Reese was like, yep, we can definitely confirm this week that GTA has a first-person mode.
It
We
wasn't
can
confirmed.
confirm it. And then 3 days later, confirmed, official trailer.
That's right, we did say that.
I'm pretty sure, like, industry experts and, like, big marketing gurus listen to us. They're like, well, that must be what the whole internet thinks. Let's do it.
They already have plans. They're just like, shit, the Trusty Crowbar's talked about it. We just... Release it now.
All the journalists are like listening to us and they're like, oh fuck, they broke embargo. Oh shit.
Yeah, how did they
They're going
know?
to get fined.
Hang on, I don't even know what embargo means because that's the thing that people have been talking about trailers
Embargoes
and
where you have to hold off the release of something until a certain time.
how it all
game
make all these articles make sense now. Why don't I
Because
just Google
game
embargo?
reviewers would have the game for a week before it's released.
You what?
Game reviewers would have a game for a week before it's released.
Yeah, because that's what was going on with Assassin's Creed Unity.
Same.
How horrible it is.
Yeah.
But that's the same as everything, like all media.
Because you'd never be given the game, like any game from a publisher again, if you broke embargo.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's like, so someone like Kotaku, if they did it, would just ruin them. But anyway.
Well, not really. I think Kotaku was fine.
Yeah, that'd be alright. But you know what I said.
Yeah.
You know what I said.
Yeah, I know.
We like you, Kotaku.
So, sorry, back on the game. How'd you go? Love it? Play it again?
Yeah, it was fun. It was,
Play
It
online?
was a lot more fun than the last one.
Yeah?
I enjoyed it. But yeah,
Which one's the last one that you played?
was the Wii
64.
version. Well, no, I played the 3DS version. That was fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a handheld console.
That wasn't fun.
What? You started telling the internet what the 3DS is?
I'm comparing against the...
Oh.
Obviously, I'm comparing against the other one.
Okay.
So how did you play the other one?
The Wii.
With his hands again.
Handheld.
Whoa.
No, I'm saying...
He
obviously-
picked up the TV because he was so used to holding his 3DS. And he's like, damn, this is going to be heavy.
But they just want to
Whoa,
punch me in the
hang
dick.
on. Someone's actually made a full-size TV into like a Vita hooked into a full-size TV. They've made giant buttons where you can go up and you like have to.
That's stupid.
That's ridiculous. Who would want to
I don't approve of that.
Can the Wii do 3D?
No.
No.
The Wii
I don't
U.
think it can.
Yeah, the Wii U.
I don't think the Wii U can.
I haven't actually tried that. It's a good question.
Yeah, I suppose your
I might try
TV
that
could
when I
just
get home,
turn it.
Does
to
anyone have
3D.
black and
that
blue
out.
glasses?
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
You
Okay.
made funny.
You can do that with the PlayStation.
Did you play online?
No, not yet.
No.
No, not yet.
Would you purchase DLC?
I think I will for obviously the characters.
Yep.
Just to have a bit of fun with them. The biggest letdown for the whole game was for me was
We're getting all
the
serious.
battle royale or the battle.
Oh, that was my biggest disappointment with
I don't.
Mario
I
Kart.
like. I've always been.
Oh, so
huge-
Battle Royale is back.
No, it's gone. They took out the actual battle arena
Yeah.
when you fight against someone, and it's literally just the track.
Yep.
But
yes, I remember
half
that.
the team will go one direction, the other half will go the other
And
direction. You can turn around and go whichever way you want, but it reduces. It takes away that like
that hunting ability.
yeah, the hunting where you can see someone on the other side of the map,
Yeah,
and
you're
you were like sneaking around to go after them and stuff.
Like,
Maybe this is what they
we've all played
planned.
the 64 version,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you remember that?
Has it
playing
been
as a
in
kid-
any version except for 64?
It was in GameCube.
Is it in Double Dash? Yeah.
GameCube, and it was in Wii version.
Super Mario Kart as well.
The 64 version.
Yeah, it was original on SNES.
It was on. See, that was the only version I've played. Was the SNES version.
You actually played a SNES game.
No, and also the fact that I knew what Battle Royale was. Were you impressed with that?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like,
I didn't
how
even
did
think
I
about
know that?
I just thought you'd played it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
That was my biggest
it was
disappointment.
out of the whole game. I actually played with a mate, and we both play Nintendo every day.
How's the controller? How do you find
I
that?
actually love
The Wii U game.
What does it show you the map on the
it can show you
screen?
anything. Like, so you can go from the map to the actual game to the
I
actual,
would like if
who's
it was a
behind them.
reverse camera.
Do you
That'd
know
be fun.
what made that game for me?
Which
made
one?
that game
Which game?
acceptable for me with a Wii controller.
Yep.
That Mario Kart 8 is the fact that you can pause it and you can change the controls instead of tilting your controller, which is retarded and stupid.
Oh, you can change it on the
you
fly.
can use your left and right, because the only way that you could do that with like with Mario Kart on the Wii,
Yes.
you have to tilt it unless you had a GameCube controller plugged in.
Yeah.
Which
And-
GameCube controller made it awesome.
no,
I
but-
destroyed
you
everyone
got
else.
the
So I
Wii-
No,
plugged
you
it
can
in.
use
Wii U controllers.
the old classic
Yeah,
controller.
or them. You have to have them plugged in. So that stuff. Annoying.
And
But
you
they fixed
couldn't
it.
change halfway through as well. You had to change at the start.
Correct.
We spoke
What I
about
will
that
say
2
though,
weeks ago.
with the tilting, it was fun when you had friends that, like, if you were playing as a group of people.
And you
Tilting
all
was-
had to
yeah,
tilt.
and it was so much more fun though, because it made it more interesting.
Tilting doesn't make it fun for me. Makes me lose and I
I'm
get
just
upset. I
imagining
don't
Kieran,
like losing.
I'm imagining Kieran in one of those like Nintendo ads. He's got and then
It was exactly like that.
Kieran, have you played local multiplayer?
Sorry?
Have you played local multiplayer?
No.
No, not even with
you haven't
Dwarf.
played with someone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have played.
He doesn't know what Loki multiple.
Just
Loki. I'm a god. Why am I doing this?
He's like,
Bow down to me.
you're on my team now. Damn it. You're on my team.
So, on a totally unrelated note, and there was some form of segue last time we recorded this episode.
Yeah, we've recorded this twice.
Attempted to.
Luke forgot to plug the actual mixer in.
I did.
Couldn't work out why the mixer buttons weren't lighting up and down.
No, they
Good
were.
job.
No, they were lighting up.
His
up and down.
screen wasn't
but
working
I
properly.
kept like lowering the volume because some people were really loud, and I
Doug?
kept lowering and lowering and lowering and lowering, and it got nearly down to 0. And I was like, it hasn't changed at all.
But Luke didn't bring it up until the camera stopped.
We'll wait.
Actually, that is true.
We'll wait
What are
15
you doing?
minutes
Don't
in.
eat the microphone. God damn it, Kieran.
It's not an apple.
He had to restrain himself
like-
in the table.
I don't know, this here is
You're laughing very comically.
But even the fact that you were really perplexed as to why mine wasn't correct, I was like way quieter than normal. What's going on, Doug? Have you got the settings wrong? I'm like, I don't touch it. Like, just turn up and do it.
Typical
But
useless Doug.
Failed.
Just Cause 3 was officially announced this week.
Did you put a D at the end of that?
I don't know,
Just
maybe.
Cause. Just Cause.
I'm pretty
3.
excited about this one. Like, I enjoyed Just Cause 2.
Yeah.
Just like the whole jetpack flying around, jumping and parasailing.
Because did anyone play number 1?
I hated the
little
physics
bit,
in it.
Okay, so
I hated the running. The running was just like literally a children's comedy television show of a robber running away. Every run, just, oh my god!
What are you doing there?
So they went that, and they
Stupid.
probably still did that a fair bit in number 2. Like in terms of, they really wanted you to feel like you were a Bond character, I guess, with all the crazy being able to parachute to things. There was definitely elements of that game that were fun. And the one thing I spoke about when I was playing this ages ago, I couldn't understand how mechanics of the game were fun. Like, everything was right. They just totally shanked any hope of a story.
Yeah,
and
it was
missions
horrible.
were so repetitive. Like, I really can't understand how they built such a good platform and it ran really well, but then they just didn't make it fun overall.
Yeah,
Like, I honestly...
I didn't play the game that much. Just
Yeah.
Cause 2.
Really grindy. Story was ridiculous. So they clearly went, yep, let's try and do a fun 80s action movie, had big flamboyant characters. But they just missed it. Like, versus Uncharted.
It's really hard to, like, I guess when
Subtle
you
comedy is difficult.
at a studio that's you're making a big open sandbox world, and it was quite large. Just Cause 2 was
Yeah, it was
massive,
huge.
Right? So,
Good for multiplayer.
and I know this is going to
Yes.
be it's the only comparison you really can make, and it's a really harsh comparison. It's like
GTA.
Grand Theft Auto 5, right? The amount of money spent on GTA 5 in production versus like
Well,
the
I
money
haven't even heard
of
what they
Just Cause.
spent on this. Well, they spent $100 million on 4. So what on earth had they spent on number 5?
Well, I'll find out now. But like the comparison is going to be.
Oh, just go make a
quite
phone
dramatic.
call, are you, mate?
Oh, Rockstar North and South. Oh, I see, we've got you on a conference call.
Yeah, have you
How much
got
did you spend?
the,
Oh, you want to tell us? That's fine. I'll check Google.
Yeah, have you got the final price there, boys? Let's bring it
The
up.
final amount that you guys spent? No, it's on Wikipedia. It's going to be on here. So Just Cause 2 spent some amount of money. I'll find it eventually.
Tick-tock.
Hey, you guys keep talking.
But what
about
were you
stuff.
saying, sorry, Lucas? What's the harsh comparison?
The harsh comparison is like there's so much money has been spent on GTA. You got to think of all the missions and the storyline and the concepts and the ideas that would have been made for GTA 5,
Yeah, true.
but completely thrown in the bin. I'm guessing there's like another 2 or 3 actual full game time frame of content that they created
Yeah,
and
all right,
made.
but you probably
they
don't.
would
It's
throw
just-
that stuff away.
Yeah, just...
No,
You got to think it's just like deleted scenes in a movie.
Yeah. No, like it would be kept, like... I think you're right, there would be stuff
Well,
that...
they probably just kept the whole, hey, that murder mystery thing that we're talking about, let's bring it in the new one.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
they
they
did
might have
bring in
tried
the
something for number
murder
4,
mystery.
didn't make it in.
Well, they brought the murder mystery. There's a new thing in GTA 5 that's coming out, which is for Michael. I don't know if the other characters have any new story bits, but I know there's one little story side mission bit that's some murder mystery thing for Michael.
But I guess you could be right. Like, they would spend so much money, like I said, because I honestly think the visuals were amazing. Really cool for Just Cause that they actually, or Just Cause 2, they specifically were like, yep, we're working with NVIDIA to do a really good PC version. And it did look like 10 times better on PC than, which generally there's a bit of, like, difference, but I think because of the style world it just looked and ran so much better on PC. Although the controls were real shanky. I didn't like the controls.
What I like, getting back to like Just Cause 2, the actual parts that I really did like the story's not anywhere there.
But I love the helicopters and stuff were so fun.
The vehicles, the helicopters, the grappling hook was the best thing.
Yes.
Like, that was so much fun. So unrealistic, but that's the thing about video games.
But it
It's
worked
like,
really well.
Yeah. I love the idea of like grappling hook onto a car, pulling your parachute, and you literally like hitching a ride from a car, but then using your grappling hook to grapple that car to another car, and they just start doing like spins around and crash into trees.
Or to a light
tree,
pole.
yeah,
Yeah.
something. Oh man, that was the most
And they
fun.
smoked themselves really cool. Like, if you did it to the bonnet, it did the whole, like,
The
you could
flip
feel
is-
the
yeah.
the pressure sort of push down on
Yeah.
the bonnet and flip them up and over. Like,
So much fun.
So definitely, if you're saying the physics were rubbish and the other one, they definitely made driving mechanics were fun. Like, it was just, all those elements were really cool. But then, given that a huge chunk of the game was go to this base and destroy this exact same base as another base. And probably the shooting mechanics was shit, to be honest. Actually, yeah,
I
shooting
think
was
the
fun.
only thing I can remember finishing from Just Cause 2 was flying to the Lost Island and seeing the airplane
Oh, yeah.
that had crashed.
I finished the single player for it.
Did you?
Yeah, or the main
you
story.
put a
Talked about how rubbish the game was with the story, but you finished it.
Well, I just want to see if it got better.
what happened when you got
It's
to
really
the end?
bad,
Doug?
but I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
But
Doug,
did
you
you
must
get to
watch
the end
some
and you
hot-
went,
You must watch some horrible TV shows. Literally, like, next episode must be better. You know, like, you're the one that keeps...
Season 5 of Buffy.
Buffy was good.
Yeah, what's wrong with Buffy?
Nothing.
Don't be knocking on the weed,
So-
alright?
Also, I played a game this week. How's that?
On the iOS?
You play a lot of games, though.
No, I don't.
You said it last week.
Hang on, don't admit that too much. Doug.
What's that? That I don't.
Yeah.
You know that for a while there I was like a bit MIA and playing games, but didn't
Still turned up for the podcast.
yeah managed to do that. Didn't get any Destiny in. I'll tell you what I didn't. Let's play what I
You were
didn't
supposed
play
to-
this week.
I listened to the podcast. You were supposed to play Destiny last week or the week before for a whole day.
Yeah, I did.
You did play it?
Yeah,
Did you talk about it?
probably. Oh,
I thought it was last week's episode. I don't think you spoke about it.
So I did. Shut up. I played Framed this
Framed.
week, which is
Another iOS
an
game.
iOS game. Yep, it was $3.79. Bit on the Xe site, but it's a Australian-based studio.
Hey.
Is this the one that you gave me a go of just
Yes.
before the podcast?
Yeah, so it's kind of noir themed visuals, and it actually is like another game that I've played that I meant to look up and find what it was called. I think called Continuity, where you
Okay.
could. So basically, it's kind of like a comic book squares, and there's sort of little interactions that happen in each square, and you can move the squares around, and it's sort of your little character runs through each square, and you've got to sort of get the squares in the right order so that it plays through the scene without your guy getting killed.
Yeah,
or
you have
caught,
you have an action which sort of happens in each block.
Yeah, that's fairly
block.
set.
So the character goes from like either left to the right side of the block and stuff, and either goes down a pole, up a pole, keeps walking across and stuff, and it connects to the next block. And if that block has like an entrance from the left or up or down,
Yeah, but it's
contextual. There.
It's contextual is probably the best word to use. So, but it's not. That was like a certain scene that you had seen. A certain scene that you had seen. But anyway, there's like other ones that might be bird's eye view where you're running through, back alleyway, and you might head left out of a tile. Tile is probably a better word than a square. And in the next scene, you then obviously, if you've ran out of the left, you'll come into the left of the next scene.
Yeah, you enter from the right.
What's that?
If you ran to the left, you'll enter from the right.
Okay, well, there we go. That makes more sense. But anyway, so it's always dependent on what has happened in the previous tile. And then you have to get around some obstacle. So you just need to... It's a puzzle game with a really cool...
element to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very simple puzzle game with a nice textures and stuff over the top of it, which makes you not really see the puzzles.
And actually, Continuity is the other game that I was talking about that was similar, where you can move squares, except... So this one, you have no control over the character. He will run through. And so it just plays through. However, you can grab a tile mid-running sequence, and it pauses the game, and then you can rearrange them.
Okay.
So you don't have to do it all at the start. So you do it when it's all paused, get it how you want, hit play, and it goes through. And if you make it, you go to the next scene. Continuity was a game that I've had for, I feel it's like probably almost 2 years old. It's a similar thing where it's got tiles. However, you can actually control your character going left or right, jump up and down. And it's probably more of a simple, traditional, old-school game where get a key out of the scene to get through a door. And you just... But it's quite clever as well because you'll be heading... and you can actually turn your phone and then it changes if you're running through the level one way and you can't get to the roof, so then you turn your phone on the side... And then you sort of, he falls down, and then you're running a different way along a wall. So you run along a wall instead of the floor, if that makes sense, because you've turned your phone. So I want to try and get in contact with this publisher and see if they'll talk to us. I'd be interested to know if they had any inspiration from that game. Because I think that game, this Continuity game, was fairly big on the iOS store a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But definitely they've got their own really interesting spin on the same tile element.
Yeah.
And Girlfriend's been playing it as well, and she's just really nastily wanted to pass a level that I was stuck on, and then just to prove that she was better at me.
Did she do it?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. She said she did.
I thought I did it.
Yeah, then Lucas was able to pass the level too.
Yeah, well, lucky for me, I passed the level she couldn't finish on her phone, so...
Would
Wait,
definitely...
does that mean you trump...
Her.
You trump her?
Yep.
But
You trump Doug, so you're me, better.
Wait, so
it goes me.
Wait, Kristen trumps Doug.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's got a fun little...
Copyright.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this will get pulled down off YouTube. But I like the little jazz back there.
Let's just listen to that for a little bit.
Yeah. Real
Let's
into. Okay.
What's the game
I'll
called?
stop talking.
What was that game?
Framed.
Framed.
Yep.
Check that out on iOS.
Yes, definitely.
Ooh, Craig Ed.
I'll stop talking now because I've been talking for a while. Who else has been playing games this week?
Lucas, I've been holding on to this for about 3 weeks.
Yes, finally we can talk about this. Reese actually came into work and he started talking about this game, Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. It's actually
You told me about this.
No.
It's Crimes and Punishments. It's weird.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
It's not crime and punishment. It's crimes.
Isn't it crimes and punishment? You can't have multiple punishments.
I don't know.
Because you only pick one
Hang
punishment
on,
for
crimes and...
Reese, you told me that you enjoyed this game and then told me nothing about it, or I stopped listening.
It's crimes and punishments.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, it is. All right, so this game is a typical Sherlock Holmes game, but it's a very, very interesting game because, all right, you get given the, you don't get given the evidence. You got to go to a crime, you got to talk to people, you got to study them, you can study what they're wearing, how they react, what they do, and then you can study the whole area and try and get as much information as you possibly can.
That you can choose to get more information and dive deeper and look really hard for different clues and hidden objects and stuff that are around, or you can just brush the surface like I did and not get all the clues.
And convict someone straight away and say, you did the crime. You're going to jail.
Lucas, normally you're the one, I looked in every nook and cranny.
Yeah, I thought I did, but
Didn't at all.
didn't. So
You're worse at games than me.
Have you convicted someone fully yet in the game?
Yeah. So I finished the first level. So
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So
Got the right person?
So it's a third person game, but you can also play it in first person.
Which is frustrating.
First person plays really well though. However, I have a couple of gripes.
I like to know that I can see Sherlock, and it's not just me studying things, because I'm not that smart.
I like the first person.
I can't
mode.
see things in black and white like Doug.
Is it better than LA Noire?
Yes.
I believe it's a lot better than
like
I know.
it. I like it.
Like
more
as
than
in
It
it's
has
the
a very similar
detective
element.
elements to
Yeah,
it.
except the
better.
people when you're talking to them are like, yeah, I'm not lying.
I feel like
They're not freaking out.
I solved the crime better than I did ever in LA Noire. I feel like LA Noire was like, here's this, and these three things go together.
Well,
and
this
just
is because
literally
Sherlock-
figure out how to link them and then ask that person who's looking shady and then accuse them.
Yeah, but it's because Sherlock doesn't waste time sketching people's faces. Like on LA Noire. Good draw. Whatever his name was. What's his name?
So do you actually feel
Who knows?
like you solved the crime, or is it
Honestly,
handed to you?
I feel like in real life that I study things a bit more now. Like, I was literally talking to someone, a customer in the shop, and I was, like, studying their body, seeing if they had, like, a wedding ring and all this other stuff. I was just like, oh, yeah, cool. And then, like, you keep talking to them. So when you're looking at them, kind of quickly go over them. See if
so,
they're, like,
you know, in the Sherlock TV
rich,
show,
poor,
when
Check
he's-
out their buns.
when he
Yep.
meets someone in the TV show and it goes flash, 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 flash to all the little parts of like the body and stuff of different things, the game does this, but in a really nice like slow motion sort of aspect.
So like the movies.
Oh,
yeah, similar to the
Yeah.
movies, except that's still, like, very
Because
flashy.
that, like in
Yeah.
most like or any TV series or movie, they've always done that Sherlock feature.
Yeah,
It's in the books as well. It's described in the books.
yes, but the way they do it in this one is it like starts from the head and you move time forward by pressing R1 and it slowly just pans through the person as they're like breathing and stuff like this in slow motion, and then you've got to move the cursor to like over until it like goes blue. So it pretty much holds your hand through it to like say, hey, just move the cursor around until you find all the
So
little
it's
clues.
like detective mode in Arkham.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar to that.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just... The cool thing is... It's... The thing that I enjoy about it, alright, is you've got Dr. Watson. Dr. Watson? Yeah, it is Watson.
Dr.
Yeah.
Watson.
Now, in all the books that you read, it's always from the perspective of Watson.
Yep.
In the game, it's
Have
from
you
the
read the
perspective...
books?
No, I just know about it.
I was going to say, I didn't know you read.
I don't read.
Some of the books.
Reading's for suckers.
Hey,
Sorry.
Nothing, but I was surprised that he had
The...
read them.
It's in the perspective of you're Sherlock, but Watson always says, oh, I can't wait to get back to write about this. So it's like it's still in that element of the story of Sherlock that he's actually, they're working together and he's writing his, what do you call them? What would you call them?
Memoirs.
Memoirs, that's it, about the situation. I thought there was literally going to be maybe 3 missions in it because they're quite long. There's about 6, and they're long. Some of them, there's probably one that's really short, which is cool.
They all interlink to a bigger overarching story.
No, not really.
The crimes don't link, or
There
they're
is-
not all crimes.
There is a
which
final
cool.
thing that gets repeated a few times in it with Sherlock's brother. Just seems like a massive wanker.
he is.
He's just a wanker. But that comes back into it. But that's nothing you worry about. It does, however, make a moral decision right at the end whether you do something good or for. It's pretty much you do something good for the good or good for the bad. And it's very
Is this
confusing.
right at the end of the game?
Right at the end of the
Okay,
game, I
okay.
sat there.
Haven't got that far.
No,
so-
obviously, you've done one mission.
I'm
How long
halfway
did
through
it
the
take you to play this game?
Oh, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I played it over a couple of days.
PS4?
No,
PC?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why you're saying cursor. I'm like, cursor
yeah.
on...
So
I play it on PS4.
PS4.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it had a moral decision right at the end where I literally got up, left it on pause, sat down on the couch with the missus, and ran her through the 2 situations that
really?
I have and what I should do.
And she hates games.
Yeah. But she's got moral. So she's just like, nah.
She's got a
nah,
moral compass.
Stuff them, they're doing something wrong, you should do this. And I was just like, that's what I thought. Cool, okay. Whew. Went back, did it, and I was like, yeah, Sherlock, whoo.
So
So you
doing
screwed
that,
over your mate that did the right
but
thing.
you could do the right thing either way, but it was just for the good of
It's for more your moral.
majority
At-
or the minority.
At the end of a mission, it will tell you if you've done something wrong or not, and or you can check to see if you've done something wrong or
you-
not.
you can
And if you've
let it
convicted,
go.
You've convicted them like the wrong person, or you've convicted them for the wrong thing. But you only find that out like right at the end, like if you want to work it out as well.
So partway through the first mission, and I'm going to try and not give too much away because it's a really cool mission, really cool, a crime to actually solve. That I got up to a point where I'm looking around, and for me, I could not find any more clues. I went everywhere, looked all over the place, could not find anything else. So I was like, okay, so I guess I'm going to have to accuse someone. Now, there was only 2 people that I could accuse. Okay, so I'm like, okay, out of the 2, which one am I going to get a pick? So is it the older guy or is it the younger kid and stuff? And you can go through, and it literally tells you where, like, there's motive for each of them, and you can pick and choose which one you think is more plausible. And then it's how they actually, murdered the person, and then it was like what they used, or if they were like strong or weak to, basically kill this person and stuff like this. And you can say, yeah, it was either like, because they were big and tough, they were able to kill this person, or it was just like,
luck of the draw,
a luck of the, lucky, stab or something like this that actually, got them to find the kill. So out of the 2, I was like, oh man, I couldn't figure it out. So I chose the older person because I'm like, okay, it sounds very unlikely that this younger person did. All right, so I chose the older person, accused him, everything like this. Talked to Reese the next day, and I was like, yeah, no, I picked this dude. And Reese was like, what? And I was like, what do you mean, what? I'm like, that's who I picked and stuff. And he's like, no. And like, I picked that, and Sherlock is like, you did it. And the dude's like, no, I didn't at all, and stuff. And then it went to like the next screen.
But he convicts him with the evidence that he's got. Like, he says, you did this, you did that, and they're like,
Yeah.
How's the voice acting in it?
very well. Very, very well. Sherlock's strange, very weird.
Yeah.
And he does a thing where you say something about... I think it's when you're throwing spears at pigs, and Watson brings up something like sort of funny, and Sherlock goes, no. There's super big smile on it, and it's the creepiest thing. I wanted to print screen and make a meme out of it, but I was too slow. Too slow.
So anyway, accuse the guy, and then right at the end it says, are you sure you want to,
Go with this moral choice.
Go with this choice, because once you move on to the next one, that's what you've picked. And it made me rethink and just go, oh man, it's asking me this. Maybe I picked wrong,
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't ask this every time. So I said no, went back, and I'm like, okay, there has to be other clues here looking around. So I did find another clue, but it was only after I actually went to the menu, and this is one big gripe that I have about the game, which I wish the developers didn't put in. And you have a menu screen which has portraits of people, and when you go over any of the blank portraits, it says, you will meet this person in this mission, or you will meet this person in a future mission. And there was one portrait that was still blank that said, you will meet this person in this mission. And it made me think, okay. There is another person here who I haven't spoken to yet that I can't, I have to find something else to talk to them and then basically figure out who actually did this murder.
Yeah.
And it was one thing that I wish the developers just had I don't know what decision it was there, but if it was, I just wish they had the guts to leave that out.
And only put the people in there when you've met them.
Yeah, only put like, if you've actually met a certain person and stuff in your actual book, and not tell you that there's other people to talk to. Because it was...
Well, it breaks the immersion. There's no way for you to know, when I go on this mission, I'll meet 3 people.
Yeah, that's it. It completely broke the immersion of me being Sherlock and only figuring out what clues I have in front of me and like deducting, my own hypothesis out of that. And the closest game I can sort of link this to would be any of the Quantic Dreams games. Okay, the Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. All right, and I wish that they took that out so that it would feel more like Beyond Two Souls or Heavy Rain when I actually had a conversation with someone after. Now, we both picked the same person now.
Both.
Okay?
Both did it.
Both. We both picked the same person now who actually murdered the person, and it was the correct person.
Yeah, I never played Heavy Rain, but with...
Beyond.
It was crazy because you didn't get any guidance and the story just kept barreling along.
Yeah.
Everything you did. Like, normally I don't think I think about stuff I do in a game as much as I did in those because I'm like, holy shit, is what I have just done a major choice?
Yeah.
And you normally don't have any time to think about
it.
Like,
doesn't give you any sort of hint that it's going to be a great big moral choice. And I really liked that in the game. And I really liked the conversations I had after with a bunch of people about Beyond Two Souls.
I was happy to have went on Wiki afterwards and found out dang it. I'm like, the old Indian guy didn't have to die.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it, I must have been too slow. Did
Same.
either of you guys save him?
he died as
all
well, for
died,
sure.
died in mine as well. And like, I agree. I was like, I did read that as well. I was going, oh shit, I could have saved him, but I didn't feel like I missed out on some part of the game.
It seemed so pivotal part of the game that it had to have happened.
Too bad we didn't have a relationship with the son.
Yeah, true, that too. Like,
Which we could have left and gone to him and been like, hey, what's up? I love you.
because it got to
Weird.
the end, and I felt some of the decisions I was having to make were unrelated to
just
my
added
game.
into it, yeah.
And I'm like, why am I having to do this? I'm like, I didn't really care about any of these characters. So like, that threw me a little bit, but I guess it had to be in there at the end. But there was definitely the fact that we're totally off your topic, sorry, Lucas.
No, it's the same.
The fact that you could go, oh yeah, here's 3 choices at the end. That did feel probably a little tacked on at the end, and the fact that it so dramatically changed the prologue? Is that the end of a game?
No, prologue's
Epilogue.
the start.
Start.
Yeah, epilogue.
Epilogue. Yeah, that's what I didn't think it was correct.
Ending.
Yeah.
People would normally say that.
Yeah, but I didn't feel it was the ending. I felt that
It was the
definitely
post-ending.
Yeah, it really was the epilogue then.
Yeah.
Because
So and that's what I so far what I felt about Sherlock Holmes is I really like how they've developed this game and that you can basically come to a deduction early on in a mission and just say, hey, I've got enough clues to accuse you, and that's it, you're going to jail.
Rules the game completely, it would. You'd just be like, oh, this is shit.
Well, it didn't rule the game
And
first
Sherlock,
off.
I like to play to Sherlock to then be like, I know the outcome. With when you're trying to find the outcome, it comes up as like little brain cells, is that what it is? And then you can click something.
It's nerves.
And you
So,
pick a few. Some might show red to say they don't coexist with the actual story. So you pick the right ones and it goes, makes this bigger sort of brain cell, and you're just like, oh, cool. You click on that and it's like, they did this because of this, and you read it and you're like, that doesn't sound logical, so you pick the other things and it makes another one and you go, that sounds logical, but then you do that for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You're like, what the
Because
fuck
you
am I
got
doing?
to
so
leave
is the solving element of it quite good? Does that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very interesting.
Can you
And-
accuse people? That
Yes.
are wrong, like, so you can wrongly...
I did wrong the
And
wrong
what
person.
happens to you if that...
No, the story just continues.
You're a detective.
So you accuse them, they get thrown away, or...
Yeah.
Yeah, the cops
And
the
that's
cop-
the end of
and
it.
the real killer got away with it, yeah. Because I didn't
Does that-
find all the clues.
Does that killer progress throughout the game?
No.
though?
No.
So there's no more of
The
that killer.
very, very interesting thing about it, right at the end of when you accuse someone, you can either choose to accuse them and talk and make them accused and tell the cops about it, or you can accuse them for your moral choice and say they did something, they did the wrong thing, but for the right reasons. So you won't tell the cops, you give them a fake lead, and then they get away with it, but they know they've done something wrong. And I did do that on some occasion. Say, not tell the cops.
Did you do it with the first one?
Yes.
Did you? No, I was like, that guy's going to jail. Fucking murderer. He is going to jail.
It definitely sounds like the solving element of this is much better than L.A. Noire, because that's only other...
yeah.
Because
No, actually, no, I didn't. No, I made him go to jail. Yes, I made him go to jail. He was because he was a hand wrestling guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand wrestling.
Arm wrestling.
Arm wrestling. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I made him go to jail. Yep. Good game. Very good game.
yeah.
A game that I didn't realise there's
I didn't
multiples
think
of them,
it
and there's
was
some that came
gonna
out on
be
the.
good.
Well, they came out on the other PS3 and all that. I was going through
Did they?
the cheat bin, and I was just like, Sherlock Holmes. That looks like the Watson in the game I'm playing. I'm like, this is another one. What is this?
This is the same company. Like, this one company has made every Sherlock Holmes games going all the way back.
Was this way different, though? Is the
No,
mechanics...
it's the same as the PS3 one. It's just better graphics.
Oh.
And probably more stuff to it.
Yeah, those all came out at the same time. The newest Sherlock Holmes games, Crimes and Punishments, on every console.
No, but there's an old one. It's
there's
called
another
something
one.
else. Yeah, it's
Okay.
on PS3.
I think that one's the Creepy Watson one.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Creepy Watson.
know Creepy Watson? No.
Nope.
I was
Okay.
expecting Watson to be
I was
creepy in this
hoping.
one.
Actually,
Yeah.
no, he is pretty creepy in this.
He fell through the train tracks in mine and
Oh,
just
really?
stood there. And I was just like, Watson, you're going to get hit by a train. I was like, just kidding, the train disappeared. You'll get it if you play the game.
I'm going to jump away from Creepy Watson for a sec because the game goes not on a very linear, you're a crime solver. You know, you're Sherlock Holmes and it just stuff happens, okay? And you might get paid for this crime here because you solved this one, but as the story progresses and wherever you are, a mystery will just happen and you're like, I'm Sherlock Holmes, I'm going to solve this.
Yep.
No, like, monetary value and stuff in doing it. It's just, I feel like doing it because this is an interesting mystery in front of me. And that's what happens in the second one straight away. And I was actually blown away by that in this actual video game, because I felt like I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm just going to keep solving all these murders.
Yeah, the mission would be someone you finish one, and then the next thing you
the cop will come back.
interviewing someone.
Yeah.
I'm here to do. Will you solve this mystery?
Yeah,
and
that's what I thought was going to happen. But no, it just moved on to. I was at a train station. It was really late at night. It was very foggy. There was a train in the distance. I heard the train bell, and then the train disappeared. And I'm like, and the funny thing about it was Sherlock's like, that's odd and stuff like this, and Watson's like, whoa, what's happened? And stuff like this. Train's disappeared, and Sherlock's like, well, it is a bit late, so let's come back in the morning and solve it. And I was like, what? I'm like, why don't you go look now?
You did. You couldn't see anything. It was too foggy.
Yeah, I know, but it was just funny. It was just...
Trains don't disappear, Watson.
Come now.
It's true.
Come now, Watson.
Sherlock is a very smart man.
The very start of the game is a shooter. I should point out, sorry.
You're getting shot at.
Yeah, you're getting... Sherlock Holmes has got a blindfold on, and he's literally taking pot shots in the house.
I've seen
and you got to, hide and duck and, get up to Sherlock. That's Watson.
I got stuck at that.
Did you?
I got stuck at that. I did not know how to move from the second spot.
They've taken on, obviously, the real inspiration of the...
Yeah, it's very
the
Sherlock
books
Holmes
and movie and whatnot. It's good, really good game. I would recommend it over a lot of games that are out now.
Jeez, I'd seen trailers for it a while ago, and even though the trailers, I think they showed the shooting bit, and there were bits that looked really cool. I was like, no matter how cool certain adventure games like that look, they just don't seem to be able to pull them off. But this,
hey, well, at least you can borrow it off Lucas now.
It's hard to do a trailer for this game because of the slow parts of the game are the fun parts of the game.
Because of the story, and you don't want to ruin it as well.
Yeah, well, the story is really interesting, but it's the deductions which is just really good. But you can sit there for 10 minutes and literally just go through.
Is there good little cutscenes and things?
I remember there was a trailer for it that came out where there was an old bird shooting a kid, and it was all in slow motion, and it was all sad and depressive, and the graphics looked amazing. And that they were characters from the game, but that was not the right crime and what happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you watch one of the trailers, they're in some grass field or something, and he turns around, looks at the gun, and gets shot. So I don't know if that was the ending of one, if you wrongly convicted someone and said, let they can deal with it, not the cops. That might have happened, but I can't remember that.
So yeah, I would have been more interested to let everyone play and just ask them, who did you accuse, and not like that. But the game really does hold your hand to say find every single clue, and then it will pop up saying you found every single clue, so make your deduction now. And it doesn't then hold your hand to really point out who the bad person was. You just have to really think hard.
So if you find every clue, it does tell you.
It does tell you. Yeah. So once you've found everything, it'll say, hey, you've spoken to everyone, you've asked all the right questions, you've found everything. Now have a look at all the evidence, and you deduce who you think.
Yeah. So at least there's definitely got some game elements to it. If that makes sense.
So you can just be an absolute dick and just accuse the wrong person knowingly.
If you want. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, that's enough for Sherlock, I believe. There's another game that I've just started playing, which is a very, very interesting game. I think all of you would probably enjoy this game. It just came out a couple of days ago, maybe it was 2 days ago or 3 days. It's called This War of Mine. It's a very interesting
Have you started playing it?
Did you say? I told you to fucking buy it because I was like, this game is good. And
why
I sent
didn't you buy it?
Another
DRM
message.
free.
This game is good.
Did you buy it DRM free?
Yeah.
What's it called?
This War of Mine. So it's pretty much the view of what Tierra is. Is that what it is? That game's called? The whole side scrolling sort of view. Yeah. But it's all nice looking graphics, and it's a war game based on survivors.
It's the independent film version of a modern shooter.
Huh?
It's an indie film.
Guns. Yeah, pretty much.
It's an indie film.
All right.
Okay. Of a really high intense story.
In a way, yeah. But you make your own story. You live day by day of a group of people or two people or whatever when you actually play it. You build your base up to however you want to go. If people are sick, you got to try and heal them. You got to try and find supplies. I think it's 8 o'clock at night. You can always send out someone to go find.
I think I've played this race.
This War of Mine.
Is it on iOS at all?
It only just came out. No. Okay. So you can send people to go out and collect, scavenge for stuff. When you send them out, they can die. Your people die. If they die, they're dead. So
permadeath.
So you can lose all your characters. your characters can get sad and depressed and sick. So some of your characters can pretty much just die of sickness on the process. You can make your characters get drunk. I remember one of my characters, I got drunk, and then he started walking out of the house and started walking away. And I was like, shit, come back. So I don't know if I left him, if he just would have been gone. But I was reading a review of another guy that was playing, and he said one of his characters got depressed and pretty much started, like, was going through, like, he went back home and he saw, like, things happening where, like, one of his characters started beating up an old guy to death, and then when he came back to the house again, that character just hung himself. So, like, there's all these situations that happen on it. If you don't take care of your people and make them talk or make them enjoy themselves and survive and not get sick and not get hungry, shit can go down. So, but that's what the thing is, like, and when you go out scavenging, it's very interesting. Like, it goes to this whole view of the city, and you can pick where you want to go, and it might say danger, or there's no danger, or there's army around here, or there's trade stations as well. But you go there and you can, like, if you go to, like, supermarket, there might be army people, and you just, like, kind of got to hide. You can't really see them unless you're in line of sight of them. You can look through keyholes and stuff through the doors and all that, and it shows up a little bit of sight. So it does show you the view of the whole area, but it's all blurred until you can actually see it.
So can you move on from this base, or it's just literally surviving?
So this is your base. You're pretty much surviving until, I don't know what happens. I got up to day 14 and restarted because I was like, oh, my guy's died. My good guy. So, and I was like, I know how to play this game now. I'm going to start again.
When you think of, like, this game, do you compare it to something like Theme Hospital? Like, it's like Theme Survival? Like, very different.
In a way,
very
it is very similar to... I think that's why I'm enjoying it, because... But it's more... You're not working on trying to make a good... You are trying to make a good base, but you're trying to make your people survive. And, like, you do feel for them. They start talking to each other and they have conversations. You make them have conversations. And they might be like, I can't do this, man. I can't go on. You're like, nah, just keep your head up, dude. Like, you'll be right. You'll be good. And then it's just, like, it's a depressing game. That's for sure. But, yeah, like, when you start going scavenging... you see, like, you can hear stuff. So if you start running, you can make more noise and people might hear you and they might start chasing you and try and find a spot.
Okay.
So, and if you look up in a certain area, you'll hear a noise and you'll see, like, 2 little red dots pop up and you're like, oh shit, what's that? It might be people, it might be a rat. You don't know where it is, but you can hear the noise. So when you get close enough, you then see what the situation is and what's going on. You can hide in places, and I was, like, freaking out. I always try and fist fight people when they have guns. That doesn't work.
So it's like atmospheric horror, in that sense of, like, Alien and
well, it's not first person or anything.
No, but I mean, like, that sort of not knowing what's around the corner.
Yeah.
But, like, proceeding gradually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very, very interesting game, and I'm actually really, really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like, I would recommend anyone to actually purchase this game.
Like, another comparison I just want to ask, Gods Will Be Watching, anything similar to that, or?
Similar, not as hard.
Okay.
Not as hard, but...
Do you need to get food and stuff for you guys? Do you need to get them food?
Yeah, you need to find food. You can, if you find certain amounts of food, you can make better meals and all that stuff as well. You can make them eat raw canned food, or cat food or something like that, or you can make them make up proper meals. You got to find materials if you want to make stoves or beds. People get really tired. They cannot sleep on the floor. You can make them sleep on a bed. So normally I'm, like, rotating 2 by 2, so 2 people sleeping throughout the day, and then when it comes to scavenging, one of them goes to scavenge, one of them guards the place, then the other 2 sleep throughout the next day. Like, you really got to, like, control and, like...
Micromanage everything.
Big micromanagement. And then some people might knock on the door and be like, I need help, can you please help me? And you might be like, all right. They might be like, there's raiders, they're raping, can you please help me? I'll let you use my gun. So you might send one of your characters off to go help them, and you might not know if they come back or not. You're just like, shit, then they might come back. You might
you don't even get to see it. You don't get to go with
because
them.
you're still in your base.
So you can only stay in your base, or you can go out?
You can only stay in your base until you go scavenge with one character.
So you can choose to scavenge or send other people out?
If a situation presents. Like, at the end, like, someone might knock on the door, there might be a trader, or there might be...
But you can't just send someone out to scavenge. It's up to you to scavenge, unless the situation...
No, one of your characters can scavenge. Any of your characters.
Yeah.
But
so you
but
can
you
stay
send
in
them off, but your camera always stays at the base.
Unless you scavenge. If you scavenge, you're in that whole view of...
But I'm asking, you have a choice between scavenging yourself or sending someone else off every day.
What do you mean yourself?
You going off
Like,
and
does
scavenging.
the camera go with it every time? Or you
Anytime,
can say-
any character you have, if they scavenge, you go with them.
Oh, you do.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So can
you
some-
You
have to
micromanage
scavenge.
every person. Yeah.
Yeah, but
so
you-
when someone scavenges, you scavenge.
But you can't just send someone off without you
no,
going.
no, because you wouldn't know what you get.
Well, you just
Yeah.
said that you
But if
send
it's
someone
an-
off before and not knowing if they're going to come back.
That's not scavenging. I'm saying like if you
Oh.
try to help them from people raping and all that stuff.
Oh,
so
so
you protect them.
Any other sort of mission that might pop
Yeah,
up.
yeah. They
That
go away
presents
for a
itself as-
period of time, maybe 8 hours or something. They come back.
Yeah.
If you scavenge all the way till maybe, let's say, 6 a.m. in the morning, because it's light, it's harder to get back. So it'll go back to your base, and your person won't be back yet. And then you'll have to like wait for them, and they might come back midday, be super tired, or they might not even come back.
Is it?
And when you come back, it might be like you've been raided, like
Oh, really?
blah blah blah,
Oh, I
protected
was
the
about
base.
to ask, does stuff happen while you're away?
They came and just like stole some stuff. They stabbed one of your mates, blah blah blah. But they're okay, but they're bleeding.
This sounds stressful, and I haven't even played
This
it.
game is really fun, and like I haven't played a game like this that's actually
Sounds
drawn me in.
horrible, like,
But that's the thing, like
it's a sense of what more veterans come back from. And
it's a survival game. It's like it's a game that it describes what war's like, and there's little bios every day. Something new comes up that says like, I can't believe this happened. I was hanging out with my brother, and then war broke out. I didn't think this happens in countries like ours. It only happens in third
It's
world
actually
countries.
developed by people that have been through this.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the trailer of it was like the people that made it, from what I've gathered, is that they have been through this and they wanted to take that experience
Yeah.
to show people what it's like, not just for the people fighting in the war, but for the people affected by war.
It
Yeah.
sounds like
'Cause
it's
it's-
stressful for them
well,
to
it's just-
relive it.
Yeah,
and
don't
make
play
it.
the game. It's people have said it's the war game that people need to see because it's like shooting. Yeah, you're mindless, kill everything. Yeah, the moral choices there's not much, but in this one there is. Like it's like you can live or die, and then you can come back. You might go through a whole level of scavenging and get tons of cool stuff, food, bandages, and then you take the wrong turn, you get shot, you're dead, and then they don't come back.
What I think it would be like, even though this isn't zombies, but
Well, there's no
how-
zombies in this one.
There isn't.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying even though there isn't zombies,
Yeah.
it's like say you're Walking Dead as your Rick character or whoever. Like when you end up being the person
Yeah.
in charge of a crew and you're making decisions all the time.
Yeah.
And obviously you're surviving, but because you're responsible for people,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good from what you're saying, but that's what it sounds like. Like if you're like, yep, okay, let's go and help those people, and you'd be presented with those situations all the time, and you could help them, something good could happen, or something really bad happens, and
Yeah.
then it's your fault.
It's just a really, really good game. I'd recommend
Sorry,
anyone to purchase this game.
I may be wrong about the people actually living through it.
Yeah, that sounded like a made-up thing, but I'll just let you
I
go.
no, like I watched maybe I just watched the trailer, and the trailer was a like a live action trailer.
With
But-
gameplay, yeah.
No, but it was about a developer. It was weird. It was about the
Okay.
developer. Yeah.
Well,
Well, maybe I
what
looked
I
too
take
far
from
into
this-
it. However, it was about some of the developers used to be with CD Projekt Red, CD Projekt, which were the guys behind The Witcher and stuff, and they went off and started their own studio.
Yep.
The other reason why I'm thinking maybe I'm wrong about it is because they've made a few other games, namely Anomaly and Anomaly.
I should put a link above us.
Well, I'm assuming that must be about it. for
Yeah,
the
it
week.
sounds like an episode.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, episode 90. That's
90.
crazy. Did you ever think we
Wow.
would have got to the big 9-0?
I thought you would have been gone by now.
Yeah, I did too.
Doug, how long did you think you'd stick around?
Doug
for?
said he was giving it a year, and if people weren't listening still,
No, I
if
never-
we still had a
Actually,
listening
no, I do
base,
remember that.
listening base of 12, then he wouldn't.
I
have
don't
stayed.
think I ever put a timeline. I've always said I wondered how long we would proceed. Like, what was the time period that you're like, yeah, it's fun to do. So either way, I
Yeah,
don't
it's just us
mind.
talking shit.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. It's just good to talk the games.
You always sort of hope that there'd be people out there listening, but
Yep.
it's fun to do either way. So
He's
that's
hoping.
cool. Yep. We'll do another 90.
Let's
Well,
try it.
Thanks for
We'll try
listening, and stay tuned next week because potentially we'll be talking about GTA 5 first person.
Oh, potentially we will.
Potentially we will.
We will.
Potentially we will.
We will. We will be listening to it.
Listening?
A thank you to Kieran Nunn, who's
From On Earth
been
One podcast.
ominously quiet for the last half of the
Yep.
podcast.
Likes to play games. It's true.
Oh,
Thanks, guys.
Hey, hang on. Banter reel.
Oh, we already talked about that. It's
No,
about
we
movies.
don't.
Who
he
cares?
didn't get to.
Yep, I said
cut
it.
him
It's
off.
about movies. We'll find it. It'll be up somewhere.
Check it out. All right, thanks, guys. I'm Lucas Whittingslow.
I'm Reese Winningslow.
Douglas Bright.
And I'm Kieran Nunn.
And this was Trusty Crowbar.
Peace out.
Oh, I should stop this.